The Clashing Conferences Podcast. Let's go.
Welcome back, everybody. The Clashing Conferences Podcast, Clashing Conferences Network. Check us out at theclashingconferences.com. Join Patreon. I'm part of the network. We're back here after a quick, holiday break. I hope everybody had a great Christmas and New Year's, and everybody was safe, but had a lot of fun and had some family time. Got all that good stuff out of the way. So we're back, looking at do a real quick recap. We had week 16. We had the Redskins in a real big win, 36-33 over the Eagles, proving themselves.
I predicted that.
Atlanta beating the Giants 34-7. I don't remember. I'm sorry. I never did go back and look at numbers from that week. But Dallas had a win that week, 26-24. In the internal competition, we had a point for Dallas that week with team win. We had 2 points for Washington that week, team win and plus or minus turnovers.
I had a good week
point for the Eagles with QBR. In week 17, you had a good week because you lost. In week 17, things did not go as well for you when you had a big win this week against the Colts, 45-33.
You got to build a winning culture, man.
Number one draft pick, which I'm sure we'll talk about, but you could have used that number one pick a lot more in that win. Philadelphia got back on track this week with a 41-7 win against the Cowboys, and Washington stayed hot with a 30-24 win against the Falcons. In the internal competition this week, the last 3 points for this week are QBR, a big one for Drew Lock, 97.5.
QB1.
Just edging out Tanner McKee, Greg, who went 3 for 4 passing with 2 touchdowns. What a line that is. So most points went to the Giants. Again, a surprise number at 45. Rush yards went to Washington at 216. And for the first time all year through 17 weeks, none of you got a single pick right for internal competition on the 3 categories. So, I mean, nobody was going to pick Drew Lock or the Giants to score the most.
They weren't
trying
to
lose, but that's where we ended up with nobody getting.
Giants have been a wonderful surprise all year.
Thank God. 2024 is over.
Goes to show. Just shows what you can do with a quarterback.
QB1.
It's true.
So that's where maybe
that guru
what you can do with a
coach finally got him playing well.
Just saying.
You're gonna have him saying they don't need a quarterback in the draft now.
That's
my
spin, baby.
For the next couple of weeks.
That's a good thing. You don't need a quarterback because you're number 4 in the draft, and Cleveland and Tennessee both draft ahead of you this year right now.
And could get a win this week if the Eagles end up resting their starters and don't care about it. So we'll see what happens here.
But
I think it's awesome.
I think it's awesome. I don't think anybody has the Giants as favorites yet.
I could be mistaken.
Yeah, that means the Giants are under.
I was thinking the other way around. Yeah. I really want.
I know. I just read it on this show here,
but I really do want to, Mike. I want to.
You do know that you owe Roach
I'm telling
50,
you, that's just.
you 50,
I told you what happened there. He got me confused with somebody else. We were probably talking shit that day.
We'll talk about it in 3 months. We'll talk about it in 3 months.
I'll be
PJ
there.
Wellhand's yearly story.
I'll try to be there.
It will come up. I guarantee it.
All right, let's get back on track here. We're going to take away the leadoff crown from Greg. Only 1 point in the past 2 weeks and a big loss to the Redskins in Washington. And Paul is on your butt. If he gets a sweep this week and gets 3 points, he will tie for the competition crown with Greg. So, Paul, you had 2 big wins the past 2 weeks and getting some points here. Let's lead off with you. What do you got?
Well, you were the first one to say that you didn't think we were for real. And I'm 100% not telling you that we're not completely for real because I still don't think we've beaten a great team quite yet. We've lost to the Ravens, the Steelers. I can't remember who.
It was a big
Tampa
win.
Bay
That
Bucks.
Eagles win was a big win.
Yeah,
It
I was
was.
going to say.
It was a big win.
Without
It
our
was a big
quarterback,
win.
though?
I didn't say it was a good team though. I didn't say it was
It's
a
a
good team.
talented
It is
team.
it was a big win though. It was. Oh, there you go. Look at that. On paper, I would have taken them by like 9. So it was a great win. Very resilient win because we had to get 5 touchdowns out of the quarterback because we kept, giving them the ball 5 times as well. So being able to come out on top on that was pretty great. I honestly wouldn't have wanted to be there at that game. I don't know if I would have made it through that. There were so many highs and so many lows, and they were so extreme each time in the last like 10, 15 minutes of that game. It was ridiculous. Honestly, it was so long ago. I don't even remember a whole lot of it, except I know that Greg wasn't real happy about that and gave no credit where it was due. No credit whatsoever. Saying, we beat your backup. Well, guess what? We've been throwing backups out there for 2 decades, so I don't want to hear anything. You finally, it was finally even for one. So, tell you one thing, I think it's impossible to wipe that damn smile off Jaden Daniels' face. So, love every minute of that. It's going to be like Carolina football next year. You're going to have all these people that are just begging to come and hang out with us while the rest of these freaking teams just come and start. Yeah, we were close.
We were close.
While the rest of these teams regress or actually just continue just with everybody. I want you, again, you all need to keep your coaches and all your players are the best ones you can get. So just keep them rolling.
Ooh, I like
because we're coming for everybody.
I like it.
And last week,
I like it.
Last week against the Falcons Falcons game was extremely underwhelming, but I think this has happened to the Cowboys a couple of times this year too. We've played a couple of teams when it was just the right situation. I think we played like Dallas right after Dak got hurt and like Cooper Rush just absolutely destroyed us, like he started off hot last year. Michael Penix, after they called him in week 16, almost had a flawless game. Played pretty well, at least in the first half.
Yeah, he did.
When you look at the stats at the end of the game, again, it didn't look, completely fantastic. And I don't think it should have been as close as it was. I think at quite a few points we looked pretty dominating, especially like you said, the run game there with over 200 yards. We obviously were managing that game pretty well, and we're in control of that. So I don't think it should have been as close as it was, and we easily could have lost. There's been a lot of lucky times that this team has had. We've had some really crappy teams and efforts and luck over the last 3 decades. So we just have, there's 4 games that I think we possibly won by luck. Mike, I don't know if you remember any of them, but this was another one. If they're the kicker, freaking kicker. If Younghoe Koo was in there, he may have knocked down that 56-yarder. The memes about that were great. So I'm really happy with the win. I'm not saying that we're on a roll, that we're going to roll right through the playoffs or anything like that. There's quite a few juggernauts in the East. None of the teams on this podcast.
You can get hot. You can be that team that gets hot, man. And
absolutely. I would love to play spoiler. I would love to play spoiler. I can tell you who and I just don't want to play Detroit. I don't care that they literally are on
it's amazing.
The second string of every single defensive position.
12 people out or something. It's stupid.
Just don't want to get beat up. I just don't want to get hurt this late in the season where it jeopardizes the next season. That's what I'm looking for more than anything.
It's almost like, having a chance at winning an internal competition and then jeopardizing it by dropping the F-bomb.
I'm going to say, he didn't swing.
Of course you would say that, Chris. Just like, of course, you're going to say
I don't think Eagles aren't. I think he was.
We're not a good team. We're a talented team.
Yep. Yeah. Shout out to the Clash of Contenders Baseball Pod. Like and subscribe. You get them all, baby.
You get Patreon, you get all of them.
Ooh.
I did too.
I like that.
It is.
It's a sports fan network, right?
It is a sports fan network.
Something like that.
For sports fans. And speaking of sports fans, I just want to kind of go back.
Who's the you?
I like this. I like the new Paul.
I
also
right.
don't like.
It's going to be.
I just want to make sure who you're talking
to. This is
I
week
have
16
some problems
again.
with him. It's almost like the Cowboy fans. You like go away. I don't hear from you for years, and then your team's like, okay,
hey buddy.
You'll always hear from me. You'll always hear from me.
That's right.
Oh, you, Chris. We always hear from
what do
you.
you
so
want?
what would you rather have? Would you like me to be quiet for another 30 years when we suck? And I'll be around for 4 games? Or, go 2-7 every year and still got the BDE.
And still calling
we
you.
can only handle one Topher here.
Yeah. What are you now?
yourself.
11-2?
I don't. 11? No, we're not 11-2.
I don't know.
I think we have 13 wins, don't we?
And a first round exit.
Yeah, pretty unlucky.
Can't wait.
Sounds pretty unlucky.
13-2.
Can't wait.
But the thing that I love about you guys, it's like we're still not considered a top team in the NFC, even though
then act like it. Yeah,
then act like it.
Why
act
do you
like
think
it. Tell your players to act like it.
That's my point.
And that's exactly what they are.
I love how Paul gets excited about winning his. That's their Super Bowl. Okay, so you beat a team without Hurts. You beat a team without our safety because he got thrown out of a game for a BS call.
You know why why Hurts was out? Because we took him out. That's why. We've done the same thing to Burrow before.
Gave 2 thumbs up, said I'm fine.
We did it for Chris. That was for Chris. That was for Chris.
It was just the refs.
Man, oh man,
it was pathetic.
Typical Eagles fan. You sound like a bee.
It's like, yeah, okay. We were up 21-7. We were rolling, and then of course we have to change our game plan. So, and then when Gardner Johnson gets thrown out of the game, that is what killed us.
Are you talking about
you guys came back
when he got thrown out of the game? Was that before or after he got punched in the face and got a foul?
Yeah. Okay.
And then got the penalty.
He got punched in the face and then got called for got the penalty.
Did you see the ref though? Did you see the ref? He was like, "Dude, you had that coming," and I was like. And I wouldn't have said anything if nobody's going to see 2 people with helmets on yelling at each other. You can't see anything, but somebody's got to get a call. And what you said was not allowed. He must have said something worse than spitting. He must have said something that was equal to spitting.
I agree, and I don't know what he said. Obviously, we may never know what he said, but that was a tough game.
I can tell you what he said after. I can tell you what the Redskins fans said on the way out.
Okay.
Bye-bye. And he gave the salute. He
did. He double birded you.
The Eli.
Gave you the double bird out the door. Yeah, but I'm excited because I know the first round of the playoffs, we're going to get Washington or we're going to get Green Bay. And both of those fan bases are just smacking their lips.
I do think Green Bay can beat you.
Team in the NFC. And I don't
their defense is good and Jordan Love's playing well. He hasn't turned the ball over in weeks.
Yeah.
They've got a running back. They are good.
Green Bay is going to be sneaky.
I don't see either of those teams coming into Philadelphia and beating us.
Your outlook is about as grim as your lighting is. It's unbelievable.
I don't know what's going on right now. It's like the sun comes out.
Where you at? AT&T Stadium and somebody's moving the curtain back and forth or what?
In my office. No.
Oh, look at that.
I'm in my office.
That's
good. I like that, Chris.
When did you start to be team funny?
Yeah, we can make fun of the Cowboys in a second.
I'm just waiting for basketball.
But I'm excited about this, and this is what. We know that. I just don't see either of those teams coming into Philly and beating us. I don't see it.
Cut his mic, Steve. Cut his mic.
I honestly think that what's going to happen is I think Detroit's going to lose to Minnesota, and I think Detroit is going to end up getting the lower seed, and obviously they're going to host a game. But I think that Detroit, outside of Detroit, I think is not going to.
So who are you worried about more, Minnesota or Detroit?
I'm excited about this. I think this is good.
It sounds like it, but
no one. It sounds like no one. Literally,
I'm
no
not really worried about anybody. Just being honest. I'm just telling you, I think on paper,
his team has 13 wins. He doesn't sound like you at all.
I talk like that when we're
that's how I call it. That's what I say.
The numbers are backwards.
Yeah,
numbers are backwards.
You guys both just told him that he needs to be more confident. He's being freaking confident as hell. I'll tell you that.
I think you both should be. You both got teams in the playoffs, and But that team just beat you a couple weeks ago.
I think you throw the Barkley thing on top of
Washington
it.
beat you.
What team just beat us a couple weeks ago without Hurts? Yes, without Hurts. Hurts did not play that game.
He did play that game. He started that game.
He played 7 plays of that game. And we were on our second drive going down to score again to go up 14-0.
And we bonked him in the head.
That game is totally changed.
We bonked him in the head.
Plays
Said
that total game is totally changed.
I know.
We beat you like we beat Dallas.
You did smoke Dallas.
With, by the way, our second and our third string quarterbacks. I do real quick. I'll talk about that and how Barkley had a $167 and is now 101 away from getting the rushing title that has been in place for 40 plus years.
I hope it's not an Achilles because Achilles will.
And I will have to say, I was one of them guys that talked
about it's not the
Achilles. 16, 17 games, but he definitely had less carries. So yeah, good for him.
I was just drawing an asterisk.
But it's not an asterisk because he's done it in way.
Why don't we ask Eric Dickerson? We should ask Eric Dickerson what he thinks about it.
Yeah, you should ask. But listen, but also Eric Dickerson has had 379 carries to get that total.
But also, Eric Dickerson took OJ's record when OJ did 14
That's the way
games.
sports
like,
are. That's why,
like
in the baseball pod, why they don't take away all the games, like Mike said. All the games sucks, and the short playoffs sucks in baseball. But you can't do it because it will mess the records up. Like to Saquon's,
But you know what's great? But the best part about that is every single time there's been a couple of long-standing records this year, and whoever's got the record shows up to the game where it gets broken, and congratulates the winner. Eric Dickerson straight up says, "Are you rooting for him to break the record?"
I didn't know any of this.
The quote is, "Absolutely not."
I don't think he's going to.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Is he going to play?
That's so good. He has no
Unbelievable.
interest.
Yeah,
he said
hold on.
He said no way.
Well, hold on.
Hold on. Randy wants something that he's got to throw.
That's true. My only point is, okay, why would if I had that record, I wouldn't be up cheering for the guy to break my record.
You want that record?
Doesn't mean you're a bad person.
No, I think he's an excellent person, and that's why I want to keep the value of this.
Yeah, I don't want him to break the record either. I'd rather him break his leg if he tries to play.
Old sports player.
Greg,
says 2105.
I don't want him to break the record. If he tries to play, he deserves to break his leg. Yeah, you don't have to play. You guys are 13-2 or whatever.
There it is.
There's no reason to play the game. Everybody's ragging on Cam Ward for taking himself out of that game after breaking the record, and I totally disagree. Most of them quarterbacks don't even play in them bowl games. Half his team wasn't even playing, and I think it was predetermined to come out when you broke the record. I wanted to put that out there. How do you guys feel about that? Because I heard a lot of.
I feel like you do understand his record that he just broke. I don't. Hours, right? You do understand that. Yes, his record that he just got, he's going to hold it for a week.
All right, and that's cool, and that's what I'm saying. I don't know why everybody's tripping about it.
No, you don't, because it's you either do it, you don't.
40 years old.
You play or you don't. You don't come out.
Yeah, but see, I look at it as
ridiculous.
Like they didn't even have to play. Sanders didn't even have to play.
Barkley will, I think.
Hunter didn't even have to play. A lot of them guys sit.
Oh, don't worry. You do understand that they had $18 million insurance policies for that specific game on each of those two players. I don't know any of that stuff, dude. Over $18 million. They probably paid $2 million just to have those two.
I do want to know. Do you guys think it was
week
bad that he went in and broke the record? And then
100%.
I do.
You play or you don't.
Hey, that's what Eli did when they benched
you bailed on the team.
Gino. No, seriously. They told Eli, we can start you. We want to start Gino, but we'll start you to keep your record. And Eli said no. So I get what you're saying, and you guys should respect him for that.
But this wasn't about them. This was him.
So, like, you look at Ashton Gentry last night, could have sat. He's probably going to the NFL this year. He played the whole game last night.
He's not.
Like, I respect that a lot more than someone who quits halfway.
Yeah, but we better not take him.
He will
top
be.
10.
That would be as bad as dumb as
listen, we've found out you don't value running backs, so don't worry, that's not going to happen. But
he is good, and I'll talk about him in 1 second.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
Tracy's going to be awesome.
I think he could.
You don't get one after what you just said.
Great.
What?
Yeah,
Why?
my God,
Because he's a
everybody
giant. Like, dude, he
I
had a
wouldn't
good
at
year.
all
I'll
worry
talk
about
about it on
running
my
backs.
segment.
No, because you just speculate.
When I
You
see,
speculate
Mike, I
literally
talked about
anything.
him before
Like
the season even
I,
started. I was
I,
happy when we drafted Tracy. Mike knows that. I said it in the beginning. What?
Tracy
You were
wasn't.
happy about
We had a
every
really good
single
draft this year.
draft pick you
No.
made, though, Chris. You're like
That
The
draft.
seventh
only
round
person
that
you talked about
quarterback
running
is going
wise
to be
not
the
was
true,
best
Mike.
quarterback
Singletary.
to
Randy.
ever hit
Mike
the
even knows.
NFL.
But that draft, that freaking
Yes,
draft, and last year's draft wasn't
Singletary.
awful.
You were like,
but
he's
this
the
draft is probably what's saving his job if he has a job this year. Like Barkley's going to go and possibly win the MVP. What are you talking about? Joe
What?
Shane had a great draft last year, and that's
He is-
probably the only thing saving him. There's no, in my opinion,
It definitely doesn't look like it's a me.
well, no, he didn't. We
He
got a
got
lot of
Malik
pieces, and in my
Neighbors, that's
opinion, if we had the number one,
Oh, you did
my
not.
opinion,
you didn't improve the team. You went.
I'm
You
telling you,
started
made it
2-7 again.
That
you can't
incredible
rate
draft,
a draft
made
after
the
1
team
year.
way
It probably
worse.
takes 2 or 3 years. I think it was a good draft, but
That's
I'm
what
going
you're
to find
doing.
out.
That's what you're doing.
I think it was a good draft
You
as a
can't rate the
fan.
draft
You're
after
hating
1
on them
year,
like they're
according
stupid.
to
Give
Chris
it a couple
Peterson.
years and let's see what happens.
No, you're saying that it saves.
He could
You're
possibly.
saying that it saves his
it's
job, Chris.
Chris,
Like you're trying.
I'm not saying.
asked
I'm
his
saying it's
12-year-old
probably
who to
what's going.
draft.
He's probably going to have a job next year. I don't think Joe Shane's going anywhere. And the
I
I
last
hope
2
he
drafts
does
weren't bad.
for the Eagles' sake.
Chris, here's where you lose
I
credibility.
wasn't saying it. Listen,
Again.
I wasn't
Happens
saying it to stick up
immediately.
For him. I wasn't
You're like,
saying it
this is
to
the
stick
best
up for
draft
him.
class ever. After season 1, you're still like, this is the best draft class ever. Even like Daniel Jones, who is like a complete bust. You're like, greatest draft pick ever. Like, he just needs the right chance. Like, your draft picks never are bad, no matter how poorly they
I'm not going to
play
talk about him. I'm
or
not going to
how
talk about
good
him. But
or
just
bad they
like
really
Darnold
are.
and anybody else, he can go to another team and be fine. Like the Giants, that was my whole argument about tanking. That was my whole argument about tanking.
We'll never know.
And I do kind of agree on Tiki what he's saying. He's like, this. It ain't over. It's not over. It ain't
But
over.
you
If we don't get one of these quarterbacks.
You even tank at tanking.
One of these
You
quarterbacks.
tank at
and it'd be
tanking.
really dumb. Honestly, I don't know how you guys feel about it, but we could also trade up. The Patriots don't want a quarterback. I heard a crazy rumor that they might trade with us, or they might even draft.
Trade Drake May.
Yes,
trade Drake May and get Hunter and Shador. I love it. I love it for both your
I don't
teams.
know what's going to happen.
For both
And the win, like they obviously go out and try to win. The players were all saying it, like F your tank.
Chris,
we try to win football games.
But Chris, there's one glaring thing about
I thought we had a good draft last year.
You say was such a good draft. Your team missed out on the best quarterback pool
because
as long as I can remember in football, 6 starting quarterbacks.
And what did that?
And starting quarterbacks and all look good. And your team missed.
No, because they won those couple games
idiot.
last year, and they wanted Daniels or May or whoever they wanted. They also wanted Penix. They liked Penix.
I agree, but I'm saying that is a big dark shadow over your team's draft this year.
But let me ask you guys this: should they have taken
better
Penix
quarterbacks
or Bo Nix over Neighbors?
Well, it
Does
turns
anybody,
out,
would anybody have done
yeah,
that? Though?
I mean, probably.
Because Kirk Cousins turned out
That's
looking
what I'm
like
saying,
Daniel
though,
Jones and is now not there.
But what I'm saying is, would have anybody
and you
done
have
that?
nothing to
so
fall
let's
back
just
on.
say, and let's say we have the number one.
I agree with you, Chris. At
And
the
let's say
time,
we have
there's
the number
nobody
one
in
pick
their
this year.
right
Let's say if
mind
we
that would
did
have
lose that
taken
game last
Penix
week.
or.
Let's say we get the number one pick and we take Sanders or Cam Ward. He could suck in the NFL, right?
Oh, they're going.
Absolutely.
They're going to.
You know what else?
I'm
You know what
planning on
else?
both of them not
A couple
being
years
good.
ago, when the Eagles lost on purpose so the Redskins can make the playoffs, like they're going to try to do to us this week, and you guys got Chase Young and everybody laughed at us. That didn't work out in anybody. It looked like a laughing thing to us, but it worked out for us. I mean, how do you know this isn't going to work out for us? Maybe we will get somebody else, or maybe we'll trade. And then Bo Nix turned out to be really good. Maybe there's another quarterback. Maybe the New York Giants are going to trade that pick back and get more picks and add and pick up a veteran quarterback. Like, I don't know what they're going to do, fellas. Like
the nice thing is the nice thing is looking back now, we can say that the Giants draft class last year sucked.
Uneducated.
That's all we can say.
That's a dumb, uneducated, just a loser take. Like, go look at their
You can't
draft.
even
I'm
get
not
it
going to
out.
sit there and name all the players and have you guys
Loser.
talk trash on me for knowing my team. But go look at the draft. It was a good draft.
But
if you literally shuffled all the players that play in that stadium, that call that stadium
And since
home,
I'm
you
going
still
at it
would
here, I
have
want to, and I'm you
4
guys ain't
wins
going
on
to
the
get.
year.
I have nothing to talk about. I don't know what's going to happen in the draft. I don't know what's going to happen next week. But I want to congratulate
Yep,
Neighbors.
that sounds about right.
Congratulate Tracy on a good year. Neighbors had a great game last week. He was like first in every category.
You
Am
did.
I tagging him? Neighbors?
Are you tagging them? Yeah. Are you gonna, yeah.
Hashtag
If you're
Neighbors.
congratulating them, I mean,
No, he had a really good game last week, 171 yards. He had
Stop.
3 concussions. I think he was first in almost every category. And
3
he broke
concussions.
1,000 yards with all
he
this
did have 3
debacles
concussions,
going on. It is a shame that he got hurt early on and Andrew Thomas got hurt early on. Maybe things could have been a little different, but we're turning to the relief. We're moving. And then Tracy had 1,000 all-purpose yards. Tracy, that's the first time that's the third time in the NFL history that a rookie running back and a rookie. No,
I thought it was the first
time.
time.
It's the third time.
You were just telling me it was the first time, and then you switched it to third.
As a duo, as rookies, they had a good year. It's something to look forward to. We just got to fix this, man. We don't have a lot of talent. We have some issues. I don't even know if bringing in one of these quarterbacks is going to turn it around. We might ruin him too. I think they ruined Daniel Jones. They might do the same thing to one of these guys. So
I wish you had started off
that
with that because we would have been
that
like,
could
yes,
very
Chris,
well happen. So I'm not
very
upset that they
logical,
lost.
correct.
I mean, it was actually kind of fun for the first time in 9 weeks to actually see a win. They played well. It was a good game.
So, Chris,
I thought
are
he
you
played
going to
well.
also compliment Drew Lock, who, by the way, averaged 1.8 points, 1.8 points per play? It's the highest average of any quarterback since Peyton Manning in 2007. So I think he deserves a compliment.
We don't have our starter. Drew Lock
Maybe you do have
game.
your starter. So I want to hear you congratulated Neighbors, who had a pretty good game, and Tracy, but Drew Lock played out of this world. And you don't even want to give him a congratulations.
He almost had 6 touchdowns. He almost accounted for 6 touchdowns in that game.
Chris, come on. Give a player that actually plays good for your team.
He had a fantastic
unbelievable
week.
for your team a little credit.
Congratulations, Drew Lock.
So give him a congratulations. Boy, that
when he was running that touchdown in, I was like, he's really
sounded forced.
He's really going to try and win this game, man.
Do you not like him because he's not flashy?
Do you know
not like him because
Drew
he
Lock
wins?
was
He's
coming
not
out,
DJ.
I just don't think we're ever going to get. I actually don't ever think you're going to get a guy that's going to like. I mean, look. It took this many weeks for Dable to get a good game out of him.
Do you honestly think Cam Ward is that much better than Drew Lock?
I don't know a ton about him, but
you know nothing about Cam Ward.
Better than Drew Lock. I mean, he could be a bust. I don't know a lot about this college quarterback.
Okay.
Well, I can already tell you he's got character issues. I can get you
what's the character
right
issues? Taking yourself out of the game.
What quarterback you draft, if it's in
like, I think Caleb Williams had many, many more character issues coming out.
Okay, and not to beat Mike up, but
he's not.
Sure
and how do you guys know we won't find another quarterback? Like they wanted Bo Nix, they were right. No, not Bo Nix. They wanted Penix. Nobody knew Atlanta was going to take a quarterback that early after paying Kirk Cousins all that money. Maybe they have another quarterback they're thinking about. Maybe we're going to trade back and get more picks and have another good draft and build this team up a little bit more.
Maybe you should have just listened to the kid and stop being morons.
They couldn't.
Listen to the
Paul,
kid.
how are they going to?
Meanwhile, you have a quarterback that
maybe
has
they will keep Drew Lock if they don't get a quarterback.
game.
I don't know what they're going to do.
Hey, the Redskins have mortgaged the future.
I'm worried
on quarterbacks.
I'm worried
about
times. That.
If you came with
I'm worried about that too.
Package,
I think it would be a really
Watch
bad
out.
idea this particular draft to try to trade up one. I think it would be.
Do you understand how much Malik Neighbors wants Jameis Winston to come there? Do you understand he will have
Jameis Winston next year?
150 receptions on 200 targets and 2,000 yards.
I think Randy said the same thing.
He will literally break
Eric Dickerson's record
I would
in
take
receiving. Jameis Winston in a heartbeat. Bring me Hunter, fix my line a little bit more, and give me Jameis Winston. I'll take that next year and talk some shit with you fellas. Let's do it.
Yes, you will. I'm sure. Let's move on from the Giants a little bit. Randy, you haven't had a real turn here yet. You got anything on the Cowboys after an up and down couple of weeks?
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah. Hey,
Hey, they
I'll
had
tell
a
you
big
what,
win. They had a
we
big
did.
win
We
since
did.
our last
And I called
episode.
that.
We
I think
beat
I had a really good
Tampa. I mean,
call.
again,
I should
we
get
were
some props
playing.
for that.
Yeah, again,
Yep, just like the Giants.
They are.
They're
They
just an
are.
up and coming team.
It's not take a year or two. That's all.
again,
We're heading in the right direction.
no, I mean, we were
We're
playing
three.
CD. We basically had zero
I
offense.
seen that you got
Bingo
excited
had a
about it. And
target.
you were hype over one
That was pretty
catch.
cool.
Bingo!
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, but no, I mean, there was very little offense available. All they had to do was stop the run. There's no CD Lamb to spread the ball out. Cooks had a couple passes, but really, he's not your deep threat that CD is. I said it before.
Hey,
You got
give
CD
us
and
Cooper
Dak.
Rush
That
for
was the
next year. Can we
offensive
have
plan
Cooper
this
Rush for
year.
next year?
They're both out. I would
I'll
love
take
to
him
give
for a
you
year. He's
Cooper.
better
I
than
mean,
Dak.
honestly, again, we're stuck with this massive.
take him.
I don't know
Better
if
than
I
Drew Lock.
disagree with you, but anyway, all that
Oh
being
my
said,
God, you serious?
I
Really?
don't know if
Drew
I
Lock
agree
has
with that.
one good game in 4 years, and you guys think
I
he's
mean,
a starter
again,
now.
So
Wow.
again, I go
Wow.
back to what I asked you a little bit ago.
One
dude.
time.
The guy has a blow up game for you. If this was Daniel Jones,
No.
you'd probably build an
No,
alternative and be freaking doing
Daniel
a bow
Jones
to him
had
right
games
now.
like that.
But it's Drew Lock, so you don't want to do it. But dude, anyway, let me finish my thing on the Cowboys. No, I mean against the Eagles right now, the Eagles are playing
They
out
are.
of this world good football. Really, they were right in the game with Washington. Could have easily won that game. We're not playing great football. We got some decent wins. I think we ran up 4 or 5 in a row. But no, do I think that we're competitive or as good as the Eagles right now? No. I don't know if it's going to be fixed next year without, with Dak back.
Can I
I would
ask you a
love to
question
think
real
that they
quick?
get back and get their mojo
Do you want to
back.
win?
But well, in a second.
You're not going for a QB.
Not really.
There's no benefit of losing either.
There's no benefit to. No. I mean, again,
exactly.
Dak comes back next year, and that's. I'm still hearing things
Really?
like it could be career ending. Like they don't even know how he's gonna. He tore both his ligaments. Like they're not even sure how the recovery is gonna go. If he's gonna be ready early on next year.
I didn't know it was that bad.
To me, it's really tough. I don't know. And they have to pay him that $232 million. It's
a terrible contract.
It's going to.
I don't disagree at all. I don't disagree at
give
all.
him to you,
Micah.
I hope they find a way to sign Micah. I do. He's been very good consistently for a while. The Cowboys do draft good. I think that there's a lot of holes to plug right now. I'd love to see Ashton. I always forget his name. Ashton, number 2 running back from Boise.
Oh.
I'd love to see him.
Last year, you didn't have any holes to
somehow
fill.
as a Cowboy. I don't know if he drops out of the top 10. I would say
I have so many comments.
That's what good teams do.
Well, Greg always said
I would agree.
I would agree. When you reload, you don't rebuild. Yeah. But Randy didn't do nothing last year, but now he's talking about we need pieces.
Sure.
Oh.
Yeah, we do need pieces. I don't disagree.
Pieces
it was interesting.
Obviously.
Greg, as I look at your Eagles and I look at Sirianni trash talking Zach Ertz, one of the best tight ends in the league, to where they had to get separated.
Paul, what did he say?
This is where I'm going with
Paul
this.
knows what he
did
said.
he say?
I don't even know what he said, but I
no
know
one knows what he said because everyone's blowing it out of proportion.
Dude, I know he had to be separated.
Oh, it had to be separated.
It was about the handshake. It was about the handshake or the high five or whatever it was, that it was a little too aggressive, and then he just started going in on him. Sirianni
breaks his leg too.
My point is, again, that's one loss. That's one loss. Wait till the Eagles compile either a big loss in a playoffs or a couple
I want them to win next week.
That
and
team is going to go off the hill.
Let's go.
There is so much loose, I don't know, ego or whatever you want to call it in that Eagles locker room right now.
So
I don't know.
So when week 6 came around and we had our bye and we got all our stuff together. We'll call it. We cleaned up the locker room. What has happened
every game except for the Redskins game?
You guys have done great.
That's what I was saying. You won every game
for the Redskins.
Without our
you better win it all this year. You guys are stacked. Best roster.
I got you, Chris. I got you. You're right, Chris. We did lose. We did beat your backup. Sorry, not really talking to you, Chris. The other Chris, darker Chris, Shadow Chris.
Hey, leave my camera alone.
But no, I mean, like,
He's an
again,
idiot.
Nick is off his rocker, and like that is half the team right now. You guys are drama queens. When you guys start losing, I think that team is going to fracture.
That's what happened last year. That's why they ended 1-7.
It's what almost happened.
And you know why it didn't happen? Because they got Saquon Barkley, a class act, and it took a giant to fix them.
Yeah. Well.
So I agree with Chris on this one thing, and that is, Greg.
Done. Stick a fork in him because your quarterback's overrated.
I don't think you guys are going to go very far ever.
I've been saying it for 2 years.
Yep.
And Greg, I can tell you why this is coming the way that it is.
That's fine.
It's because there's only you're the only team that's like doing well. You know, if it was the Cowboys, just like last year, Randy would be insatiable.
Agree.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm fine with it.
Hey, 2 weeks ago you guys were piling on me? My team was losing or
Greg,
winning
I
4
hope to
games.
be in your seat
and you
next
guys
year
were all
with our
piling
new
on me,
QB.
like attacking me. The one time I point the finger at Greg, you guys are like, "Oh, poor Greg. Let's give him a reason not to be."
Poor Greg. Who the hell said that?
You just did, basically.
The only thing poor is his lighting. There's nothing poor about his situation.
I'm switching cameras. I'm switching cameras during the break.
All right, let's take a halftime
working.
break so Greg can get his lighting fixed. And real quick before we run, Chris, I do got to give you your props
Mike.
real quick. I went back and looked there real quick.
Don't.
You did call Washington beating Philly 2 weeks ago when we were on break. You did call
that was out of spite
on
though.
the same week you called you called Dallas to beat Tampa Bay. And in the same week, you got the third game right when you said the Giants were going to get smoked that week. And they went down 34-7 to the Falcons. So
thank you,
there's your
buddy.
props
How about the
that
internal
you keep
competition? I
asking
think I did pretty
for.
well on that, too. All right.
You got one.
No, points. Predictions on the other team.
That is great.
Really? Only one? I thought I had 2.
Yeah, predictions. You picked Parsons right. So let's take a quick break. We'll be back in a minute. Start looking forward to the last regular season week of the year, week 18 coming up.
Hey, open the curtain up. Look at that.
Go Birds.
Hey, everyone. Thanks for listening. Just a few quick reminders for everybody. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Michael Jordan is the GOAT. And check out our fellow podcaster, Jim Montgomery, with This Day in Philly Sports History. Thank you.
Welcome back. We are here looking forward to the last week of the year, week 18, or at least the last week of the regular season. We will be around for the playoffs. We'll get a little internal competition again like we did last year for this crew for the playoffs, that they can rack up some points and have some things to talk about and talk trash from week to week. But in week 18, we got 2 internal division games to wrap up the season. We got Washington going to Dallas. It is fitting. It's the way it should be. We got Washington going to Dallas. Washington is favored by 4.5 points in that game. And we got Philadelphia at home favored by 3 over the Giants. Kind of a weird line, I think, because not knowing who's going to play yet for the Eagles, I think that line could change wildly. So we'll see what happens. But for now, we're going with -3 as the post on New Year's Eve. And I'm going to throw in a bonus game, as we do a lot of times.
Sweet.
When we don't have a good set of games here. We're going to get the game of the week. At Detroit, the Lions are favored by 2 against the Minnesota Vikings. Let's throw that one in as a third pick for you guys. Get a little mix in this week with the big going for the
what's the spread again, Mike? I'm sorry.
2. Number 1 pick in that one. Detroit by 2.
And the weird, nice little piece of trivia here is that whoever loses will be the first time ever with a 14 game year and losing their division.
That's crazy.
Wow.
Hey, and if it, let's just say
division in football.
And let's just say if the Vikings were to go to the Super Bowl against the Bills, they're both 0-4. So somebody's going to go 0-5, and somebody's going to break that streak that's been going on for decades.
But if
that
the
would
Vikings,
be a great Super Bowl.
But if the Vikings go in and Sam Darnold gets hurt and
Daniel
DJ
Jones goes
starts,
in and wins it, hey, either way he gets a ring, and
that would be.
Why would you even say that?
Seriously, like why do you
either
do
way
that?
he gets a ring, and they have not lost a game since he's been there.
This is why. This is
All right.
why
They haven't lost many
All right.
games all year.
Let's
Chris.
get back to
They have
reality.
not lost a game since he showed up.
Let's
Oh,
get
there
back
goes
to
Randy.
And my
reality. and
dream can still happen.
Let's spin this wheel a couple times.
Randy,
let's
did you
get
just
some
go,
let's
"Oops, there
get
goes
some
rabbit"?
categories for the last week
Break
of the
would
year.
it be?
He said, let's
Goat
go back
win a
to
Super
reality.
Bowl.
I can't believe you knew that line. I'm actually impressed.
Stop.
I'm
I
actually
like
impressed.
this one. I
I
like
do
this one a
too.
lot. Team total touchdowns. That didn't come up a whole lot this year. It came up some, but not a whole lot. Unfortunately, I think Paul has lost his ability to come back in this thing, but we'll still see what happens. Maybe Greg will curse next week. Team win.
No.
Team win.
Should be cursing.
Well,
I do have some breaking
What's-
news. So
what's that?
apparently Barkley would rather sit and healthy into the playoffs instead of getting a record. So Barkley is sitting this week.
Ooh.
Wow.
You don't think that?
Interceptions,
you don't
any
think that'll
single
change?
player.
No.
No, -1.
-1 for Chris.
That's not. I'm allowed to say.
Nope.
-2 for Chris.
You're not allowed to say the word that follows.
Your context didn't work.
-3 for Chris.
My what?
Mike, you know how they bleep that stuff out. Go, just keep.
Oh, your friend's,
well,
your
that
friend's
doesn't-
the producer. I'm sure he'll.
Seriously.
I
No,
don't
it
even
was-
have a horse in this race.
Oh, we
And
know.
that's why you don't care.
Your team is horrible.
All right,
Those
let's
yours.
go. Let's go back to who we ended with. Let's lead off here with Randy. What do you got for us in Week 18?
So no Saquon. I'm taking the Giants. I think that they're going to do what they did last week. I think Chris is going to want. I mean, Drew Lock's going to do awesome. Chris is talking crap. Philly doesn't have anything to play for. I don't see why they're going to win this game. Neither do the Giants, but I think that Philly really doesn't care. We're going to go the Washington-Dallas game. I don't think that Dallas without CD and Dak has a shot at winning that game. So I'm going to take Washington. I think they win by more than 4.5 points too. We'll take the Lions. I think that's a tough one. The Lions, Minnesota, but I'm gonna go with the Lions. I think Minnesota would be cool to watch a win. I just don't know if they have all the parts that the Lions are. They're playing so good right now. Team total TDs. We'll take the touchdown machine Drew Lock for that. Team wins. Well, I pretty much went over that. It's going to be Philadelphia or Dallas, or I'm sorry, it's going to be Washington and the Giants, and then I don't know if we're counting the Lions game as a team wins. Interceptions. I think Dallas has a good chance as any. I'm getting that. Their defense has all been playing all year. They're playing as good as ever. I think that Dallas could get that one. So maybe a point for me. What am I going to end if I get 1 point? Third?
You're third no matter what, probably, buddy.
Yeah,
I believe you're only 1 point behind Paul now with the -1 that he picked up today.
So
So
I can
you are
catch
fighting
up.
for a silver medal here.
Cool. That's it. I don't have much to say. We got next year. It's my name today. Next year. I mean, this
All
year,
right.
I guess, but hopefully this year is better than last.
Let's talk to another person looking forward to next year already. Chris, what do you got for us in Week 18?
Kind of similar. I have to agree with Randy. I do think the Giants are going to win. Eagles aren't going to try. They don't have their best player. Yeah, I mean, the Giants looked good last week. Drew Lock played a good game last week. I do believe Dave was good with quarterbacks. Maybe it took a few weeks for him to get Drew Lock to play better. I don't know. I got to spin it somehow, Greg.
Oh,
I
my
don't
God.
I don't think Drew Lock is going to be our quarterback next year. I don't think he's the answer like Randy does. But I think he played a good week, and I think Neighbors is going to have a good week. I mean, we have one of the best receivers in the league, and he's only a rookie. So, yeah, Giants win that game. I do believe Washington will beat the Cowboys. Washington's on a roll right now. They're going to go into the playoffs hot, and I hope they go all the way. If Washington won the Super Bowl, I'd be absolutely okay with that. But I don't think they're going to. It's probably going to be the Vikings or the Lions that represent the NFC.
I think Green Bay is just as dangerous as both those teams.
They are. That's a great division.
Then you probably
Bears.
shouldn't have made that bet.
But yeah,
What
you
bet?
probably should.
I already paid it up. So
Yeah. Yeah.
So
the day you missed.
And I told you guys last year Drew Lock was good. I mean, not Drew Lock. I did not say Drew Lock was good.
Hey,
I
real
told you guys,
quick.
I told you guys Jordan Love was good, and you guys laughed at me all year last year. He's like one of the highest paid quarterbacks, and they're a good team.
So according to you guys, Green Bay, Detroit, and Minnesota all have a better chance than the Eagles right now.
Absolutely.
I do not agree with the Packers.
I don't want to say
I think all three of them have a better team than you.
I do not.
Wow.
I think I would put all four of those teams as whoever is hot is going to win. All four of those teams, I think, could play Buffalo or could play Kansas City or could play Baltimore. I think all four of those teams are very good teams this year.
This is why I said you guys are a talented team and you're decent, but your coach is a head case, your quarterback's overrated, and there's a lot of teams better than you. Like I do. I still think all these other
the hate. I just love the hate.
It's not the hate. It's how we see it. That's how we see it. And yeah, we might have our
it's
team
hate for me.
It's hate, Craig.
On. It's hate. Oh, 100% it's hate. I know it's hate. And that's why I love it.
But honestly, I don't think you're better than the Ravens. I don't think you're better than
the
Bills.
We beat the Ravens.
It don't matter. It don't matter. Regular season
I think
don't
that's
matter.
part of it. You played to win
Well, all right, the Washington beat you.
And we beat them.
All right. Well,
and you just sit back and collect your L's. Because that's what you are, a losing franchise. Your
all right,
GM's a loser.
More Super Bowls than you.
Oh, well, let's go back to 1980.
Hey, if you want to talk, well, you said franchise. If you want to talk franchises, you're the poverty of this podcast. I told you that.
I am the poverty of this podcast.
You only got one Super Bowl, yeah.
But I am the most relevant in this podcast the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Nah, not last year, Greg.
Not last year. You didn't
win.
We
made the playoffs or have been in contention of playoffs the last 20 years.
And you lost in the first round at Tampa.
You said you're the most relevant.
And you ended the season 1-7.
Last year we won the division.
You're only
lost the first week of playoffs because you always do.
But we were the most relevant last year.
I disagree
All
with
right,
that.
I'm gonna finish my picks here. So
I
do think I'm gonna get into the Vikings game. I think the Vikings are going to win. Like I like the Lions. I think what the Lions did against 49ers was amazing with no defense and having like their whole defense is like back up.
Suck this year.
Yeah, but they were beating them and dude, they're good. The Lions are good, man. But the Vikings with their team intact, with that defense as nasty as it is, I think the Vikings are going to win that game, and they'll have the number 1 seed. That's my pick on that. TD team totals, I'm going to say the Giants. They're going to win the game. They're going to have probably the most points. They're going to score more touchdowns than anybody else. Team win, Giants and Washington. They'll get the team wins. And I want a clean sweep to end the year. It's 2025. 2024 is over. We can end this year 1-0 and sweep the week. I'm going to say any player interceptions, Phillips. Another good rookie that we drafted that's good and starting in this NFL. That's my picks.
But you missed on a quarterback.
I like the mix in of the earlier argument about your rookie. So I like the confidence. I like the picks.
Thank you, Michael. Happy New Year, fellas.
What do you got for us at the end of the year, the regular season at least?
Well, the news just breaks my heart because I want to see him get it. Not only for him, but for the O-line and Jeff Stoutland, our line coach, who is tremendous. This may be one of the best offensive lines that I've ever seen play, and that's with losing an all-pro center that everybody thought we couldn't fill his shoes with.
I'll eat my crow on that. I will, because
you did.
I talked a lot of smack on that preseason, and their line was excellent, man. And then you add in a already great running back to a great line.
I agree. And I don't think.
And I have nothing against him other than the fact that he lied and didn't want to be a Giant for life.
He didn't lie.
I don't care. I don't care where he went. I don't blame him from going there.
Yet we're still talking about it. And I think that's what
my point out there.
And he's still stabbing the voodoo doll.
And I think
I burned that thing.
That's what breaks my heart the most, is because this isn't a record that's going to be broken next year. This isn't a record that's going to be broken even in 5 years from now. To be honest with you, this record may never be broken again. And that's because
that's true.
3 years ago, we didn't value the running back. And now all of a sudden, Henry and Barkley and a couple of the other backs this year are like, listen, you got to value us. So I don't know what's going to happen. That's why I'm a little upset they're not going for it. To me, it's not only an individual, like I said, it's more of a team thing. But hey, it is what it is. We'll figure it out. Maybe because the bye week came in week 6, they value rest more than that. And
it's smart. It's actually smart.
It is.
It's a team thing. That's why he sat out when he had an opportunity to go and get his career high. He was like, nah, let the young boys eat.
Well,
he's a great dude, man. He's all about the team.
We thought that was the case when he had 2,000 yards and he came out of the game after 2,000 yards. So he just wanted to get 2,000. But again, Lane Johnson, I don't know how many more years he has left. Mekhi Beckham is probably not coming back. So right there we could lose our right side of our line next year, and it won't ever be the same again. Anyway,
he could get hurt.
Agreed. He could, but he didn't. And he lasted all year. And
I had at it. You broke him this year. You overused him.
No, we didn't. Maybe that's why they're resting him. Who knows? Anyway.
Then you did. You're agreeing that they did overuse him.
I think they used him more than what they wanted to.
So he's your team. That's why you guys are good this year.
No, he's a good balance of our team. We have 1,000 yard. We have a 2,000-yard rusher, and we have 2,000-yard receivers.
You won without your quarterback because Barkley is that much of a threat, and your line is good.
We were playing with our second or third string quarterback. We also won games where Barkley had 67 yards rushing. We didn't win because of Barkley. We won. Let me take that back. We won because of Barkley and because of our team. Not just Barkley had great games all years. There's games Barkley ran for 70 yards, but we still won the game. But AJ had $110 and Smitty had 103 that game. So we lost the Atlanta game because Barkley didn't catch the ball. So you can't say we won because of Barkley because we didn't.
I said
win.
that. I told you lost because you dropped it.
But 45 seconds ago, you're making a point that we won because of Barkley.
I think your team is as much of a threat you are is because of him.
Agreed.
You have all that talent and you added him, and it was the right decision for you.
But I will add to that, without A.J. Brown and without Devontae Smith, Barkley is not that threat. Hence the reason of what he did the last 5 years in New York.
You won those games, though, when A.J. Brown was out, right?
Oh, no. We lost the game against Tampa Bay when AJ was out.
What's your win streak right now?
Well, since we just lost to Washington, our win streak is 1.
In between.
So we won 10. We won 10 straight. We lost.
Right, and so you didn't have any guys out them weeks.
Those weeks, no, we really didn't.
All right, I thought you had AJ out.
Lane Johnson missed some time, didn't he?
Lane missed the game. Yeah, we've been relatively healthy this year.
Yeah, that's the other thing. You have been. Yep.
So is your head that big it won't fit on your head, Paul, or would you get the mini replica?
These are reps. They're not authentic.
Oh, okay. Just thought I'd ask. So anyway.
But I do have a big head right now because we beat the Eagles.
Oh, boy. Here we go. One more week. You won your Super Bowl. You did. You beat the Eagles. That was your Super Bowl. You're relevant. You're in the conversation. You're in the playoffs for the first time since what?
There are a legit contender.
It is 2020.
You are a contender. Let's just hope you don't come up 95 or you won't be a contender much longer. I love it. No, not
Would be the first time this year.
Not a chance. Not after the way that game went down. I hope for your sake that you play Detroit or you play somebody else because you'll have a much better chance to win.
I know why you don't want to play us. I got you.
No, the guys are pissed from the way that went down. Anyway, let me finish my segment. Sorry. Even though we're playing all second string players, we can't. I mean, we want to lose to mess up New York's draft status, but I can't pick the Eagles to lose to the Giants. I won't do it.
Not messing us up.
I won't do it. I'm gonna do Philly -3. I think Washington goes into Dallas and stomps them. They may not be playing much. I don't know. I think that's a 1:00 game, right?
I honestly don't even know what time it is.
I don't know if they can even determine their seed. So I'm going to take Washington -3. I think Minnesota is playing better football right now than Detroit. I think Detroit is good. I really do. But I think Detroit is hurt, and it's only a matter of time until their weaknesses show. I think I'll take Minnesota +2 at Detroit. And I think Detroit or Minnesota outside of their stadiums, I think are in trouble. I really do. So whatever
Real quick though, Dan Campbell though, his next man up philosophy and what he got going
works
there,
well right now.
You gotta give him. Is he
And
coach
going
of the
for
year?
fourth down, even if it's inside your own red zone.
Is he coach of the year? Like,
well,
I mean,
Nick
seriously.
Sirianni does that when he's an idiot. Campbell does it. He's great. Great
I didn't say that. I'm saying coach of the year to have all them injuries and have.
I think so.
Like,
I think
the next guys up aren't nowhere near as good. That's why they're not playing. But the scheme and the way they believe in his, like him, they believe.
they do believe, and I think
that team is
that's
very
the same
impressive.
thing. I think it's the same thing with Nick Sirianni. And you guys laugh about
It's
it,
not.
you joke about it.
You guys are super
Dan
talented.
Campbell, his first press conference said he's going to bite people's kneecaps off.
I love Dan Campbell.
I
don't know if I've ever seen Dan Campbell going off at a former player or a
Sirianni doesn't say cool things. Dan Campbell does.
Remember when he was walking, like the idiot shit he did when he walked out of the Chiefs? You like that, Chief fans? What a moron!
Oh, you're a moron. Team totals.
I'll do it.
Team totals, touchdowns.
That was good.
I'm gonna take Washington on that. Team win, Washington and
well
Philly.
deserved.
And interception players. I don't know. I'm gonna go
Drew Phillips.
No, I'm gonna go Reed. I think Reed's gonna get some playing time. It's gonna be a young Eagle on defense and get some.
So you're gonna pick us off, even though we're gonna smoke you.
I didn't say you're gonna smoke me. I picked Philly to win by -3.
Oh, you do have us winning. Oh, so you have us winning, but not by.
Now, I have us winning, is what I have. Philly -3 means Philly has to win.
See, I have that. There's that betting dyslexia again, Mike. My bad.
That's why he quit betting.
I don't. I'm better.
It always ended up bad.
I owe somebody a case of beer this year because the Eagles won the division. That's
And
like the
$50.
most. That's the most of my betting. It's something I had for like 10 years. I bet with a buddy. That's it. Just I don't bet. I play poker. I don't bet.
How's that going for you?
I haven't played in a while, except for when we all met at the casino the other day. I don't really play that much.
Got it. What do you got there, Paul?
Very uneventful. I literally am taking every one of Randy's picks. I will co-sign all 6.
Nostradamus Jr. over here.
Oh, absolutely.
I'll take the 3. I was hoping it was going to be right after, and then after that. But now I'm last. I'm like, well, just Randy times 2. The 3 game picks and the 3 category picks. I feel the same way about all 6 picks.
Hopefully it's not a pick 6.
All right, now that was who's going to say it?
Randy.
Throw the sticker out there, Chris.
There's that.
Dom shit.
leave Dom out of this.
Let's get out of here. We'll
Dom
be
made
back
sure to leave
to
Sirianni out.
wrap up the regular season and start looking forward to the playoffs for those who are lucky enough to make it, and start talking about draft picks here soon.
Lucky.
So
Enough.
we'll be back in a week. Thanks, guys.
See ya.
Happy New Year.
Flashingconferences.com.